We watched Hocus Pocus on Netflix.
Oh, is that
the other night.
I think I remember
the one
that.
with Bette Midler.
Yes. Didn't it have? It had that chick. Didn't it have someone from Sex and the City? Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
She was one of the witches.
Yeah.
And I was realizing, like, okay, so they do this stereotypical witch thing where they like read out like a long chanty poem from a book and throw some ingredients in a pot, and the magic words and the ingredients together work and make a thing and blah blah blah. It made me think, like, okay, someone wrote that poem down. Like, someone had to come up with that. But obviously, like, it's not just some random words. This is like the thing that works.
Yeah.
For the power that they want. So does that mean that there are people who are just like sitting in front of cauldrons, throwing ingredients in, writing poems and saying them and seeing if they work, and then like crossing them out and trying new things? Like, they're literally sitting there experimenting.
Oh, you mean to like scientific, like the scientific method for magic?
Well, okay. Let's say, picture witchcraft like 1,000 years ago. Yeah. There are fewer spells because they haven't. People.
Well, I think
people are trying to be witches or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I want to do a spell where I can turn invisible. So what if I throw some Eye of Newt in here and I say some stuff about invisibility? Nope, didn't work. Let's try putting some fish scales in there.
You're talking about the alchemy system in Skyrim.
Well, I mean, I can't fathom another system. Like, how else could it work? Right?
Well, I'll tell you how.
And wait, before you finish, let me ask you one more question. Does that mean that these spells just don't work outside of English?
Ooh. No, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
The devil told them how to do it.
Ooh. So the devil speaks English.
The devil speaks the language he needs to. So he'll come along.
So it's English.
He's
in your brain.
English.
English.
Yeah, because they're English witches. If he went to like China, he'd be speaking a different language to the Chinese witches.
Okay. So does that mean that the devil just knows all
he's
of the
a magical
languages?
being? This is the exact same argument as Shelob. It's magic. It just does what you need it to do.
Magic.
It's magic. Yeah.
The devil's magic.
Okay.
Well,
of course he is.
I don't know, man.
He's shape-shifting words, basically. In your brain.
There's a part in that movie where the witches like raise a zombie out of a graveyard.
Yep.
And it just like, does that mean that 1,000 years prior, someone was standing in a graveyard yelling poems and hoping the zombies would rise up? And
What's funny with this whole thing is like you're thinking that there was a process into discovering
there
them.
has to be.
Where
right?
someone would just wrote a poem one day and was making a really gross dinner, and then they turned invisible and was like, wait a minute.
It was entertainment and dinner.
But how would they know that they turned invisible?
When they look down to like see where,
so they can't see, they're invisible to themselves.
Like I'm holding a fork, but the fork's just floating.
I'm eating this food, but I can see it in my stomach,
and it's disgusting.
Why did I put Eye of Newt in
here? Why did I keep eating this?
It's health. It's bloody modern health food.
I mean, maybe all magic spells are just people shrooming, and they think they turn invisible, but they're just shrooming.
Yeah.
Like, I'm invisible, dude. No, you're shrooming.
Dude,
But yes, I do think there has to be a process of discovery here.
That's you and your 20th century like head.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, so then if there isn't a process of discovery, your claim is that the devil tells them
the devil or some sort of demon or something.
Okay,
came
so
along and was like,
the demon is writing poetry. The devil is writing English poetry, and saying this is
not
the
real.
poem. This is the poem that will make you into a younger woman.
I think. Okay, here's the thing.
This explains a lot about goth poetry. I will say that.
Here's the thing. It's like it may just be like the poem may just be a placebo effect where like
it's just the ingredients that matter.
Maybe it's just like the intent or something.
Just be in the right state of mind.
Yeah, if you think that saying this poem and making this potion works, then it will, kind of thing. I don't know. Look, I don't know. I'm not. This is not a real thing. This
is what I like. I think about this from time to time, like because you got the Salem witch trials were a real thing that happened, where real people were burned at the stake because they were accused of being witches and found guilty of witchcraft.
They didn't know the Ten
Nobody
Commandments.
back then said, well, hang on, where did they find out the spells? How did they find out the spells?
The
How
devil.
does any of this work?
The devil. That's where they got it all from. They're consorting with the devil and all that sort of stuff.
So,
Nick,
they owned a black cat, enough said.
You take that next leap of logic, which is like,
They
okay,
don't.
Well, the devil,
Don't take the
devil
next-
is visiting them and telling them English things.
Yes,
Like,
it is. They don't take that next step.
is that the next step?
well, what would your next step be?
My head is somewhere where people suck. Like, I don't give people anything. So if someone accuses someone of being a witch,
Yeah.
I
You
think-
immediately agree with them.
yeah, because
They have to be. They
because
suck.
I'm a people.
Yeah.
Because I'm a witch.
Yeah,
No, but dude, like what the witch,
funny how you went that way.
dude, the witch trials is just finding a scapegoat for problems in like their community. Like
Yeah.
that's it. They're just
Yeah,
like, oh, we had a bad like turnip harvest.
It's not even that. It's more like, I think she's sleeping with my husband. She's a witch.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's funny to give like the cauldron, like it's a silicon wafer type idea, and then like all these components
Yeah,
are going
yeah.
into it.
Well, that's functionally
You need to-
what
Oh,
it is,
Yeah,
right?
and the
It's-
operating system is you
it's
just chant
saying,
at
yeah.
it.
saying the right
Yeah,
words.
activate it.
What
with
happens if you
this
say the
chant.
wrong word? Does nothing work? Or do you get like a kind of
It's like
sort of
clicking
works,
on the
bit
desktop
buggy?
background. It's
Yeah.
you're doing nothing.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's why, that's why Brandon Sanderson is cool, because he's got like a proper magic system.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I do
and he
think
sticks
that-
to it.
Yeah, having some logic to a system
Yeah.
like that.
It makes
helps.
those stories way more enjoyable, because like Harry Potter was, a fun time, but like magic was basically free energy in that
Right.
in that world. And like, well, why don't the wizards and witches like power the entire world?
Yeah.
Why aren't we running Tesla cars running on like, I don't know, hocus pocus mojo?
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, Harry Potter is a fantastic example of like, where did these spells come from?
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? Like you assume, like instead of just transporting people around with magic, you have to buy a car and then transport.
Well, dude, you got to monetize it somehow. What are you
Consider Harry Potter for a second.
It's all capitalism,
can't have
bro.
all this like free energy everywhere. You got to monetize it, man. What are you talking?
Yeah.
Consider Harry
But
Potter.
you have to
for-
buy these loot boxes, see? Like in this world with magic.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got silver spells and gold spells. The silver spells will work.
No,
on,
she can shapeshift, but if you give me 100 gold coins, I
think Harry Potter is a really good example, because in that they literally you've got your magic wand,
Yeah.
which by the way someone determined that
Yep.
a stick with a thing in it.
And there are better ones and worse ones. There are the expensive ones that, I don't know, do magic better.
Yeah.
So where's the magic coming from?
and then they have magic words that they have to say
Yeah.
to do the effect. Someone's got to be standing in front of a mirror, or like there's just a bunch
there's
of
a
people
whole
standing
school
around
for that, man.
saying
They've probably got a
Habadoo,
science department.
Chubopalop. And they swing their arm. Nothing happened. Okay, cross out Habadoo Chubopalop. Okay,
Yeah.
Habadoo Chubopaboo. Nothing. Okay, well,
That's
how many
because
permutations can
that's
there
why
be?
that's why all these sorts of things, they like, the source of magic always comes from some like other like higher power type thing.
And Harry Potter does it.
I don't know.
See, that's
Yeah, but I mean, she's not gonna. I don't know if she's written like the Harry Potter equivalent of the Silmarillion or anything
Yeah.
like that, where the entire like creation
myth and stuff.
happens. But like,
Well, clearly, wizards and normal people are different. In that
yeah, well,
universe.
wizards are
So
basically
there
like
is a
some sort of angel
bloodline.
type creatures. Wizards.
Yeah.
So that's the weird thing, is like in like there's so much magic in Tolkien, but like the wizards aren't actual like people.
Oh, in Tolkien, right?
Yeah. They're sort of like these like demi angels
Yeah.
or something. Like they're not actual. Like there's no people going around being like, my class is a wizard.
Yeah, and what's interesting in Tolkien's magic is there aren't like magic phrases really. Are
No,
there?
it just happens.
Yeah, Gandalf just does
it just does the thing.
does the thing.
Yeah.
and it happens.
Yeah.
and that's much cooler because that's like he just wills it.
Yeah.
And that I believe that to me is more believable somehow than like a
Yeah.
a magic phrase
You're-
that someone
dude,
figured out.
Like saying that.
These are showmen, Nick.
Dude.
That's what it's all about.